there, thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on my Color Wednesday blog post for November 30th, 2016. I found this super cute image while I was browsing Pinterest and I had to rush over and pick her up because she's just adorable. You can find her over at ConiFongArt and her name is Holly Poinsettia. I will put a link down in the description box if you'd like to go grab one and color along too. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I will make sure to get back to you. Otherwise, I printed my image on Neenah 80-pound Solar White cardstock, so let's color. Alright, so I'm planning on cutting my girl out, so I don't need to outline her. We're going to start with her skin. For that, we're going to use E21, 00, 000, and for her cheeks, I'm going to use R02 and R01. So I'm going to start with my E21. And I'm going to do that right along her hairline here. And down the side of this little ear puff. And then let's give her little nose a little bit of a shadow right here. And I'm going to bring this over the top of these flower petals. Then I'm going to add E00. And for that, I'm just going to touch down on my E21 and we're going to pull out here into my white space. And do a little dab on her nose there. And then I'm going to add E000. And I'm not going to fill it all the way in because I'm going to do her cheek color and then I'm going to come back and add a second coat. So for her cheeks, let's start with R02. Show up. And for that, we're going to do right along the edge of her little muffs for her ears there. And over here, let's do a little bit away from this leaf. And then I'm going to add R01. I'm going to flick right along the edge of that R02. Then I'm going to grab my E00. And we're going to give it a second coat. So let's go right along her face, over the top of those cute little cheeks. And then we'll add E000. I think I'll pink her cheeks up just a little bit more. So let's add a second coat of our R02. And then we'll soften that with R01. And then I'm going to go over those with my E000. So next, let's do her hair. For that, we're going to use 100 and C3. I'm going to start with my 100 pen. And let's start here on her bangs. So I'm just going to flick down along some of this hair. I want to get it going the direction that her hair is going, and I want to go right next to this headband. And let's see here, let's turn her this way. And I'm going to flick from the end, this little curly Q. And then let's do a little bit on this one that's hanging down. And then let's do this other side of her bangs. So again, I want to go right next to this hair bow, so I'm just going to color right along the edge. Give me a little skinny spot. And then for her bangs, we're just going to flick some color on here. And let's do a little bit coming down from this one that's curving around. And let's see, let's do a little bit. This one's got a wonky one, so I'm going to make this one a little bit wider. And let's go up here and we'll add some to the top. So let's go up here by her roots. And again, you want your pin to go in the direction her hair is going. And then I also want to go on the back side of this hair bow, or her headband. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little line there, so I don't accidentally color the headband. And then we want to flick away from that. And then let's do a little bit away from her ponytail. And then for her ponytail, I'm going to pick a few of these little strands and go down. And maybe this one right here. It's kind of going down a little bit there. Okay, let's hop over here and we'll do this side. So again, we don't want to color this headband, so I'm going to go right over the top of that. And down to the other side. And then I'm going to go away from the roots of her hair. Then we're going to go away from this little ponytail. Then for a ponytail, let's do a few of these strands coming away. Maybe this one. Then let's do right here on this side of her headband. Let's put a little bit more of our black in here. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now we're going to add C3. Let's start here on her bangs. And I'm just going to kind of flick over the top of that. I don't really care if I don't fill it all the way in. We're just going to add some of this lighter gray in here. Let's go over here, and we'll do this side. And our pigtail. And then I think I'll just leave it just like that. Let's do the flowers next. For that, we're going to use R35, 17, 32, and then Y35 for the centers. I'm going to start with my R35. And let's do a little bit of that on each of these little petals coming away from the middle. And here's a leaf or a petal. And right here. And then we'll get these. Yeah, let's see. Here's a petal. And this one. And then we'll get this flower. Let's see, did I get them all? Oh, here's one right here. And this one. Okay, so we'll see if I got them all. And then if I didn't, I guess I'll come back. Okay, then we're going to add R17. So we just want to add that right over the top of our R35. Add a little bit to each one. All right, and then we're going to finish those up with our R32. Because we're going to fill them the rest of the way in. Okay, and let's see, there's a leaf right up here by her headband, or her little puff. So I'm going to fill that in. And that was R35, and I'm just going to fill it the rest of the way with my R17. And then for the center of my little flowers, I'm going to use my Y35, and I'm just going to dab that right here in the middle. For the leaves, let's use G85 and 43, and we're going to start with our G85. And I'm just going to put that right down this little line that's already there, and do a couple of these that come away from there. And then I'm going to fill them in the rest of the way with my G43. And then I'm going to go back with a second coat of my G85 just to darken that line up again just a little bit. For the flower pot, we're going to use W3, 1, and R39. I'm going to start with my W3. And we're going to do that right underneath this leaf. And then coming away from her sweater or her mitten. And then I'm going to add W1. And I think I'll do a second coat of my W3. And then a second coat of my W1. And then I'm just going to fill in that little line there with my R39. Next, let's do her undershirt, so this little sleeve right here and the one on this side, with W1 and W00. I'm going to start with my W1. And let's do a little bit of that right over here. And then on this one, I'm going to go underneath of her sleeve, and then I'm going to do each of those little lines. And a little bit underneath these leaves. And then I'm going to soften that with my W00. Oh, right. Let's hop up here and do her headband. For that, we're going to use B99, 97, 95, and 93. I'm going to start with my B99. And we just want to do a little bit of that on each side. And then we're going to add B97. And then we'll add B95. And then we'll fill it in with our B93. Then let's use the same colors down here on her pants. So again, I'm going to start with my B99. And let's start on this one. I'm going to go underneath of her skirt. And then down her leg. And we want to do these little stripes that are there. Go inside, do that little stripe. And same for this side, go underneath of her skirt. And there are knees right there, so I gave that a little swipe. And then I'm going to add B97. So I'm just going to touch down on top of my B99 and add a little dab of this just to soften the edge. And then I'm going to add B95. And then we'll fill it in with our B93. We're also going to use these colors on this little shirt right here. So grab your B99 first. And let's see, let's do right underneath of this scarf. And then I'm going to go right next to my flower. And this little arm sleeve. And I'm going to color in inside of her sleeve. And then I also want to go down the back of her arm. And around this little plant right here. And then for the bottom, let's go right down this seam. And then down next to her shirt. Then we want to add B97. So I'm going to fill in this side of her shirt where her sleeve, where her body is. And then we want to soften this neckline. Oops, not that. That's her shirt. I'm going to fill in underneath that little plant leaf. And we'll bring this out. And then soften this side. I think I'll bring this one out just a little bit more. Then we're going to add B95. I'm going to be careful around these buttons because I left those white. And then we're going to fill it in the rest of the way with our B93. Let's hop down here and do the boots. For those, we're going to use E49, 47, 44, 43, 42, 41, and then W7 for the little button. So we're going to start with our E47. And I'm going to do that on my boots. Let's go. I'm going to color the top of the boots lighter. So let's go down here first. And we're going to do each of these lines. And then I want to go down the back of the boot. And she's got this little patch, so I'm going to go on the other side of that. And then right here, she's got this little crease. And then let's go right along the sole. That. And then for this side, same thing. Let's go right down the outside of our boot. And there's a little crease right here, so let's do this. And then there's a crease. And then I'm going to bring this over the top of my boot. This, and then bring it over here. Then we're going to add E44. So we just want to add a little dab to our lines to the line we already laid down. So I'm just going to bring it out just a little bit further. And then I'm going to add E43. And I should have done, whoops, let's see, E47, I forgot to do a little bit on the back of the seam right here. And then I'll soften that with my E44. And then go over that with my E43. Then we're going to fill in the rest of our boot with E42. Okay, and we'll leave that for a second because we're going to go over here and do this second boot with our E43. I got distracted by that line there and I forgot to do it. And then we'll fill that in with our E42. And I think I'll give this boot over here a second swipe. And I think I'll add a little bit on this bottom of my E43. And then we'll go over that with our E42. For the sole, we're going to fill those in with our E49. All right, and then the top up here, we're going to do E43 first. So let's add that up here at the top of our boot. So we're going to do right in here where you can see the inside. We're going to do that. And then let's go down the outside. And then just got a couple little creases, so I'm going to bring those in a little bit. And then same thing over here. Let's do the inside. And then let's give it a couple of little creases over here. And then we're going to add E42. And then I'm going to fill it in with E41. And since I'm going to color that button dark gray, I'm just going to color right over the top of it. And then I think I'll add my E43 for a second time. Just draw those lines back in just a little bit. And then for the little buttons, we're going to fill those in with our W7. For the scarf, we're going to use W100, our colorless blender, and then for the dots, Y35. I'm going to start with my W1. I'll do that right on the top, and then right down the seam where it's touching the other scarf. And same for this one. Let's go right down next to her shirt. And then for the top up here, let's do a little bit coming away from these bushes or from the flower. And then we want to add W00. I'm just going to soften the edge of my W1. And then I want to add my colorless blender just to soften the edge of that. And then we'll fill in all these cute little dots with our Y35. Let's do these mittens next. For that, we're going to use Y35, 32, YR20, and for the little heart, we're going to use R14 and R22. So I'm going to start with my Y35. And let's see, let's do a little dab of that over here, coming away from the little flower pot. And then I want to come up from the bottom of her little mitten. I'm going to color this little patch here, like the heart, so we're going to make that red. Then we want to add Y32. And then we'll fill the rest in with our YR20. Then for the little heart in the top of her mitten, we're going to use R14. And then we'll fill about the rest of the way in with our R22. For the pom-poms on her gloves, her earmuffs, and the flowers on her skirt, we're going to use B00, 000, and quadruple 0. And we're going to start with our B00. Let's start up here on our earmuff. I'm just going to brush this right next to her face. And then over on this one, I'm going to brush right away from her face this way. And then we're going to add B000. And then we will fill it in with our B quadruple 0. Then we'll hop down here and we'll do the little pom-poms on her gloves. So again, we're going to start with our B00. B000. And then our B quadruple 0 to fill those in. Then we'll do the flower. So again, start with your B00. I think I'll do a little bit up here by the top of her skirt. And same with this one where it's touching her skirt and her little glove. And this one, I'm going to come up from the bottom. Then I'm going to add B000. And then our B quadruple 0. And then for the center of the flowers, we're going to use Y35. All right, that leaves us with the skirt. For that, we're going to use R29, 27, 17, 14, and 22. I'm going to start with R29. And I'm going to go right next to her arm. And then we're going to go down her fanny. And then over here, we want to go underneath of her hand, and then underneath of this wrinkle. Then I'm going to add R27. So I just want to soften that edge. Be Careful about your flowers. I did them first so I wouldn't have to worry about the blue touching the red and smearing it. Then we're going to add our 17. And then our 14. And then I'm going to go over all of those with my R22. And I got a little bit of blue there on my flower, so let me grab a red. Let me grab my B quadruple zero and see if we can just push that out just a little bit. But you're going to be really careful. You're not going to get any of that red on there. Hopefully. Okay, there we go. So there's our adorable holly poinsettia all colored up. Isn't she just so cute? I'll definitely be heading over to ConiFongArt and picking up a few more of her images for us to color. If you would like to see what I did with her on the finished card, head over to the store blog and view blog post for December 3rd, 2016, and you can see how cute she looks on the front of her card. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I will make sure to get back to you. Otherwise, I hope you had fun coloring with me today, and we'll see you next time. Bye!